This Leo new moon might mean a lot to you if your focus is addressing some of your inner child wounds. Hello, my name is Tamara Bartmus with Lightsome Living, and I am an energy worker, astrologer, and natural wellness educator. And tonight I want to give you a brief synopsis of what you can expect from the energy of this Leo new moon. Leo season can be all about fun, expression of self, creativity, play, but it can also be a time where we struggle with the Leo part of our nature. Now, this is really important that you understand where Leo is impacting you and your personal birth chart. If you haven't yet purchased your zodiac workbook and journal for Leo season, I highly recommend it as a tool to help you navigate what that looks like and the impact of these transits, both the new and the full moon, to help you understand more of how this Leo energy gets expressed in your life and how to really lean into it for your own personal growth and development. Looking at the Leo new moon transits, you might feel like it's not a whole bunch of energy going on. And to a degree, it is not as busy as other new moons that we've looked at. On August 4th, we will have the Leo new moon at 12 degrees, 34 minutes at 5:13 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. During this new moon, we have a couple of aspects that I want to point out that might bring attention to some of the energy and healing that needs to happen during this new moon period, particularly a small talent triangle known as a minor grand trine. Looking at this Leo new moon, we want to pay attention to the degrees and minutes and where that shows up in our personal birth charts. So for example, I'm going to share with you my personal birth chart, and here we go. And you see that Leo for me is cusping my 11th house, but the new moon is going to be impacting the energy in my 10th house. So wherever Leo shows up on your birth chart will give you an area of your life that you can have a little more clarity and insight into because of the new moon energy. Now, new moons are a time for reviewing the last year of growth in this energy, as well as welcoming a new cycle of growth. If you were to utilize my seasonal workbooks, you could track this over the course of a year to help you have greater insight into your Leo energy growth cycle. But even if you don't, all you have to do is look back to the last new moon in Leo about a year ago to see what kind of intentions or experiences were happening then and in what way you have grown and developed in this part of your personality. And just a reminder, we all have the energy of every single sign of the zodiac, just some to stronger degrees than others. So to personalize this Leo new moon experience, you'll want to be checking out your personal birth chart. Find Leo, find the house cusp, and what other planets might be impacted because of this new moon. When the moon meets up with the sun, it's a moment where I consider a refresh and a recharge to both our conscious and unconscious nature. The Leo energy really invites us to explore the themes of how we express ourselves and our purposes. Because of our childhood experiences and the way we grew up, or we're coping with the stresses around us as we grew up, the Leo energy can be very compromised and expose or hide a lot of our inner child wounds. So if you've been feeling the need to explore or dig a little bit deeper into your childhood wounds, now is the season for that. The new moon brings more of this energy to the forefront to be addressed and to be worked with. New moons are a time when we get to choose what we want to set as an intention for this particular energy in our life. So as you look back over the last 12 months, how have you grown? How have you healed? What is better in your expression of your heart and your inner child? And as you move into this next year of growth, what do you want to address? What is your intention when it comes to showing up, expressing your emotions, your needs, and your vulnerabilities? One of the cool things about this particular new moon aspect is that it is hitting the node axis. We have been experiencing this Libra Aries axis for the last 12 months, and we have about 5 more months to go. This particular new moon is trining the north node in Aries. Again, reminding us that vulnerability and that need for self-expression, it is time to take the risks and take initiative and stand up and do the things that are going to help you move forward. That North Node is pointing to what could be possible for you as an individual if you would be willing to be vulnerable and to express yourself. That South Node in Libra can make us feel like we can't move forward unless somebody else is with us in that journey. And we can fall back into old codependent patterns that keep us from really growing as an individual. One of the ways that you can balance this Libra Aries axis is to realize that you need people around you, not a whole bunch, but at least a few that support you in your risk taking and in your goals. They encourage you to step forward as an individual and to be assertive in what it is you are trying to accomplish. That North Node in Aries is a reminder that it's time to take the risk and that the energy is supporting you in learning these lessons, in being stronger as an individual to achieve your goals. Because there is this trine aspect between the new moon in Leo and the North Node in Aries, it is an opportunity that is presenting itself to really lean into the energy. Another tool to help you in that dynamic in developing your confidence to step forward and be more assertive and take the risk, be a little bit more vulnerable, expose your heart, is the apex of this small talent triangle or minor grand trine, which is Mars in Gemini. This is a time where the energy is supportive of you learning and taking on personal initiative in how you gather information, how you communicate, and willing to speak up for yourself. It might be the time that you say things that you might not normally say because it is part of developing your individuality and showing your bravery in your willingness to be heard. If you have fear of speaking up for yourself, expressing yourself vocally and verbally or in any kind of communication style, that fear might be the indicator that it's time to speak up and speak out. So that Mars is, again, the tool to help you step forward with bravery in how you communicate and what it is you are feeling drawn to learn and to assimilate and gather experiences and information. The other reason I bring up the nodal axis, these lunar nodes are mathematical points in the sky based off the position of the moon. And since it is a new moon, this feels very appropriate to point out that this lesson of learning how to be yourself, a stronger sense of self with that North Node in Aries, and step away from codependent patterns or unhealthy relationships, that opposition is going to also be supported by this Mars in Gemini. So it's not only impacting the new moon, but it's impacting what is called a easy opposition with the nodes here. And again, learning how to step forward, be more confident with your voice, take the risk, show up, and show your own heart in how you communicate, being willing to be vulnerable. And maybe in that process, maybe be a little bit rejected, because that can happen when we share our opinions. Others might not agree with us, and that might trigger some of our Libra tendencies where we want to appeal to and be pleasing or peacemaker to other people. And so it creates this dynamic and natural tension that invites us to up level or develop better skills in communicating, in learning, and assimilating information or experiences that help us be a stronger communicator and an advocate with our own voice. This Mars and Gemini energy will continue for another month. And in only 10 days, Mars will come conjunct with Jupiter, accentuating this need for self and voice. And things might get a little bit crazy in the communication realm, as this is also a day that Mercury is stationing retrograde. So with all the shifts in the air, just remember that the opportunity to lean into and feel your heart and know your heart and have the confidence and the courage to step forward and express that in whatever way you feel inspired to is part of the energy of this Leo new moon. One of the tools that I suggest you utilize is an essential oil called Osmanthus. It is what I consider the oil to help open your heart. And since Leo rules the heart in both the physical ways as well as the energy ways. What a beautiful support to get in touch with your own heart and break down those walls and lack of confidence or hurt that has been keeping you from expressing yourself to the world. You can find Osmanthus in blends like Arise, Balance, Brave, Console, and Deep Blue. It is not currently an oil you can purchase on its own from doTERRA, but I highly recommend you find those blends and utilize them. I will put a link in the description below where you can check out those blends. I love Arise. It's a yoga blend. Balance is a great grounding blend. Brave is a beautiful, courageous, cheery blend. Console has a lot of depth to it, a lot of richness. So if you're feeling like you're grieving and your heart is constricted because of that, that would be a great blend for that. And Deep Blue is wonderful for physical support of tension within the body. Osmanthus interestingly smells similar to a floral like an apricot, but it comes from the family like jasmine. And if I were to use this during this particular Leo new moon, I would especially use it over the heart. Again, if you have ever done any kind of heart-centered meditation, this would be a great blend to bring your focus and awareness and relax into the energy of your heart. And because of the Mars and Jupiter energy in Gemini, I would also use this on the forearms of the body to release tension, which is one area that often gets ignored. But if you've ever been to a massage therapist and they start working on your arms, you might be like, why is this so tight? So utilizing the essential oil can support you as you go through this Leo new moon on both a physical and an emotional level. Leo energy can be all about learning to tune into your heart and finding the confidence to express that to other people. Sometimes that expression can be messy because our hearts have been hurt. And sometimes in the need for protection, we close it off. But this time of year is a reminder to refresh, to recharge, and to move forward with a little bit more confidence in the expression of who you are and what are the desires of your heart. If you found this Leo new moon review helpful, please like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what stood out to you and what you're learning through these videos. And make sure to stay tuned for the Aquarius full moon coming up in 2 weeks.